Hey, good afternoon, guys. Came back on the Scope again today because I was watching the Scope earlier with my friend Stephanie C. Harper, who had her selfie stick in the window, driving and scoping. No, as you can see, I am not driving, I am parked. I will talk to Miss Harper about the driving and scoping later when I give her a call. But, hey Nick, how are you, darling? But I wanted to talk about the powers of life and death in the tongue, if you believe. And thank you for joining. And it's very important that you understand that phrase of what you speak into existence for us Bible believing folks is that you speak into existence what you want to see happen. And you have to be careful of what you let come out your mouth. Because at the same time, when you speak it into existence, you got to understand that you are now going to attract certain elements that would look to stop you from succeeding. Thank you. And you got to be prepared for that. That's why it says to be careful what comes out of your mouth. But it doesn't mean that you should hold your tongue. Because if you believe it, then you say it. If you don't believe it, then keep your mouth shut. Because when you invite good and bad, you got to be prepared. And I was thinking, I had a conversation before I came out the house because I had to make some deliveries today. I'm an author, as well as I sell custom slides. So they're like slip-on shoes, sort of like flip-flops, but they have designs on them and they have people's names or whatever name you want on the side. Our thoughts are projected. Our thoughts are a reflection of our hearts. Not necessarily. Your heart can feel one way and your thoughts could be totally opposite, because you may have love in your heart, but the fear that perseverates inside your thoughts may override what your heart is saying. We sometimes have to shut this off and listen to our hearts and go with our hearts even when fear and the things around us say don't do it. Hello from Russia. Hello. And we have to understand that is that when we utter those words, and I hear people say that all the time, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and there's power of life and death in what you say and all of that. But the question is, do you believe? Thank you. Thank you so much. May God bless you also. The question is, do you believe? Because if you don't believe, then what's the point? Because we have to look at what it is, the goal, keep the goal in mind. And then when we say it, get out there and do it. God bless. Thank you. Because I'm in business for myself. Okay, thank you. I'll explain my profession. I'm an educator. I am a 19-year educator for New York City Department of Education. I am also an entrepreneur. I own my own publishing company. I'm an author, poet, mentor, speaker, husband, father. So I wear many hats. So I am very careful with what I say, what I put out into the world, who I speak to, how I speak, because you have to be mindful of everything that you put out to the world. I also know that I am comfortable with the good and bad that's going to come. I know I'm going to attract a lot of evil people, a lot of evil things, but I am a firm believer in faith. So I believe that I have the power and the protection needed to deal with whatever comes. Thank you for the heart. So I'm not fearful in that aspect. Faith and fear can't occupy the same space. Yes, I have a big truck. Thank you. Not a car. I don't drive cars no more. I'm a big dude. I like to drive a truck. Before I leave you, I want to say, as a fellow Christian, I love keep spreading the goodness. Thank you so much. And that's actually what I'm attempting to do. Because I think too often we get, if you're not attracting them, they're lost. Well, they may be lost, but we still have to put it out there the same way you shine your light. You wave the light. Of course, we have to put the word out. We shine the light and hope that those that see it come. But if we never shine the light, those that are lost don't know which way to go. In complete darkness, the smallest light can be seen for miles. So the idea is that we cannot be fearful of what we believe, and we have to put it out. And we have to allow those that hear it to make the decision for themselves. Truth never has to be forced. So if you're a believer of your truth, you don't have to force it upon anyone. You simply speak and allow others. Exactly. Light does drive out darkness, smallest amount of light. But we have to put it out there. We have to be believers of what we put out there. And we have to be able to stand on what we put out there. Okay, cool. Sounds great. And we have to do that. And I do it with my writing. I do it with my speaking. Now G3 or LT. I'm sorry, I missed what was the question before that. And I do it with my writing. I do it with my speaking. I do it in the way I teach. I do it with the way that I carry myself. Because we have to make sure that when people come, we don't know what their intentions are until they unveil it. So if we're consistent and we're understanding of who we are and our belief system is strong, whenever that person shows who they are, you'll be prepared and you'll be able to deal. But you got to be mindful of what you say, because what you say is going to attract elements in this world that it baffles me sometimes when people go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. And then you go back and you do search and you see what they were saying or how they were acting before these things started to happen. And you almost say, what did you think was going to happen when you put that out into the world? Yeah, thank you so much for that comment about discovering that there's more good people than bad. Laws of attraction too, yes. I actually had gave up Periscope for the last 2 weeks. I was done. Then a friend of mine had said, no, you have to come back and you have to say something. You have to speak, because I had came across so much negative content, and I had came across so many things that I felt was misleading and misguiding people in so many areas. And I come across so many people who profess to be professionals and profess to be gurus. And I'm looking at the number of hearts and people are so locked in, and I'm saying, are they listening to the message? Are they checking and researching what some of these folks are saying? Because I'm sitting at my computer and I would do a simple Google search. I don't know how to believe in something I can't see, but I'm crippled by the fear of death. Well, don't worry about what you can't see. Worry about what you feel, and worry about what effect in living a particular way has on your life. I think we worry so much about trying to prove is God or the Creator real, when obviously we're here for a purpose. That purpose should be more than enough to drive you in whatever direction that you need to go. And in faith is the belief in things not seen. So if your faith isn't something that you can't see, but your actions are based on the reality of what you create, you'll be okay. We worry so much about what we can't see that we stop doing the things that we need to do. People need help. People need advice. People need someone there for them. Focus on that. And as you see things unfold, you'll start to get the answers of some of the things that you're looking for. Albert Einstein proved energy never ceases to exist. Our spirit is energy. Yes, listen, science is much a part of this too. But it still comes down to what you believe. Because there will be some folks who will argue that. So my thing is, whatever it is that you believe, okay. See, I'm not into the proof factor anymore. I stopped doing that. I stopped trying to prove to anyone else but myself. I don't have to prove to you what I believe. All I have to do is believe and act on those beliefs, help people based on those beliefs, create people based on those beliefs. Here's what you have to do is what works for you. I'm sorry, I missed your name, so if you come back on. And it's hard to believe if you're all over. Take a minute and stop and step back and ask yourself, what type of person are you? Believe in that. If you believe that you're a righteous person, then look for the things that would line up with righteousness. The things that line up with who you are and what you do. And as you start to venture in that way, find people that feel that way, you'll start to notice that something will speak to you internally. See, I know when I'm in a room full of people that I don't feel comfortable with, so it's time to go. I know when I'm listening to music that doesn't suit me, it's time to turn it off. Yes, you have to. Well, that's the bottom line to everything. And what you wrote was, if people can't see it, is take responsibility for your actions. Of course, it's always come. That's what I mean by the belief. Is I control what comes out my mouth. I control what I believe. As I just said, I'm not worried about anyone else saying, well, how can you stop right there? I'll explain it to you, and then you take it any way you want to take it. I've had people call me insane. I've had people, how could you be an educated man and believe? And I stop them. Excuse me. My education simply means that I finished college and I have my master's degree. Okay, that just means I have a certification that I met the requirements for a degree. My beliefs are personal to me because it is my guidelines for how I choose to walk in my path. If that path is considered foolish to someone else, stand off to the side and call me a fool, but allow me to walk. And the idea is, okay, I'll definitely check you out. I can't guarantee I'm gonna follow you until I see what you're talking about. So I don't randomly follow, but that's something that why we get on here, to meet new folks. So I'll definitely check you out. So the idea is, we have to be accountable to ourselves, and we have to be accountable for what comes out our mouth. But the question is, what do you believe? Okay, cool. I'll definitely check you out. I love a good comedian. And so the hope is that as you listen, that you're really asking yourself, is that if there is power of life and death in what I'm saying, then what am I saying? What am I filling others with about me? And what is fueling what I'm saying? Where is my belief in that? That's why I said, if you believe, because your beliefs will funnel into who you are. Talk to a thief. His belief is, if I can get away with it, what's wrong with it? Talk to a cheat. He'll say, okay, if I don't get caught, ain't nothing wrong with it. No one's really hurt. That's his or her beliefs. So you have to stop and look in the mirror and ask, what is it that I believe? Okay, definitely. What time is the show? Let me know. In the Eastern Standard, what time zone? But again, you know, as an author, as a poet, as an educator, I don't go into the classroom with preset beliefs about children. 7 p.m. Okay. I'll try to come by and check you out for a little while, because I'll be home watching my little girl. So I think I have time to jump on a little bit later. But I was saying is, when I go into the classroom, I don't go into the classroom preset beliefs about children. That would be unfair. Thank you so much for inviting me. It would be unfair to the child that I'm teaching. As the educator, my job is to present knowledge, and then in some tactical way, get the children to understand how that knowledge can help them. And then what I have to go on in terms of belief is what I assess based on how they understood the knowledge. Because what I might find out is I'm 100% wrong in what I tried to teach and how I tried to teach it. I can't put that on the child. And also you have to understand is that if you don't know the children's background, you definitely can't come in with a preconceived belief about them. So you have to be very mindful. And I'm hoping that as folks are listening, whether listening live or listening on replay, that power, that life and death is not just physical, emotional. No, I do not speak Portuguese. Portuguese, I'm sorry. I'm struggling with the English language, it seems like right now. No, I would love to speak multiple languages, but I do not. So I'm sorry about that. But I think you have to think of the different types of death: financial, emotional, social, because one wrong word in the wrong place could harm you, your employment. Now, I don't podcast it. I would love to. Pretty much after I finish here on Periscope, I move everything over to YouTube, so it'll be there so folks can see it. So no, I used to have my own radio show, but it got too time consuming for my wife and I. So between teaching during the day, then trying to find time to write and try to find different speaking engagements, it is very difficult. I would love to do a podcast. Maybe I'll look into that. Thank you for the suggestion. And thank you for the hearts. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I got to remember that that's part of this format too. So I definitely appreciate that. Oh, what subject do I teach? Well, I am a health teacher. physical education teacher. I have taught English. I have taught science. I've taught social studies. I have taught math. I have been a dean of students. Before this year, I was a dean the last 7 years. Yes. And so this is year number 19 in New York City, and I am leaving in June. I am stepping out on faith, and I am moving to Delaware, and I don't know where I'm going to be working then. I may just work for myself for a while, but I'm stepping out on faith and leaving New York for good. Just changing states. It's time to do something different. I want to raise my daughter in a different state. I'm going back to grad school in January to work on my second master's degree in ministry/counseling. Okay, well, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you can always hit goodbye. It is not for me to try to help you understand. I thought I was very clear, but ask questions and I can clear up anything that you do not understand. So if you do not understand, I apologize. I am speaking as clear as possible. KKK, okay, listen, that's your choice too. That's also part of your belief. It doesn't bother me. That's you. And if that's what you choose to do, there's no reason for me to waste time with this, but that's your belief. But again, this is what I do. And I attempt to offer something when I come on. And I am a 3-time author, as well as my wife and I own a publishing company. We've published 18 books to date. We have my new one is coming out in a month. The release date is November 27th, Black Friday. And we have another young author that we're working with. This is actually his second book that he's done with us. His name is Jovan Roseborough. So, again, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you have gotten something from that. I appreciate all that have responded, even the negative responses. There's something to be learned from that, because the good thing about that is when you see it, then you understand. And that is proof of what I said. I came on with no negative intentions, and you get that back. That is the power of what you say. And you have to be prepared for it. Because if you're not only will you get rattled, not only will you get emotional, you can then stop doing what you're doing, which is the whole purpose of why the negativity shows up. And if you want to go one step further, why evil is attracted to you when you open your mouth to something positive. It is because that design is to try to prevent you from helping others, to prevent you from changing things to make things better. Now, some folks would say there's no such thing. And again, that would be their belief. I'm waiting to go to the United States as I do. Okay. All right. So what is the wait? What's holding you up? So again, I hope that this has been helpful. My name is KL Belvin. I am educator, speaker, writer, author. My website is www.bravinpublishing.com. If you need to reach out to me directly, you can email me, main office. That is main office at bravinpublishing.com. I am on all social networks, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, of course, here on Periscope. And you can just do a simple Google search to see who KL Belvin is and what I do. If you would like me to come and speak, Mets or Royals, I'm a Yankee fan, neither. If you would like me to come and speak somewhere, let's talk. And we can set something up. I will definitely come and sit down. I love to speak to young adults. I love to speak to adults. I love to speak to anybody, because actually it's all about the help. It's all about the program. It's no problem. It's understandable. Again, back to your beliefs. Listen, it's the Mets time, so I'm not going to speak negative about the Mets. Actually, I like the young pitching staff, so I have watched the games, but I don't have a rooting interest, or as they say, I don't have a horse in the race. But I do like baseball, so I am watching the Mets. So who wins doesn't really matter to me. Just want to watch a good game. But yes, I'm always up. And also, I'd love to sit on panels to have discussions with folks of different backgrounds and understandings, because that's another thing too. And I noticed that a lot of folks who have strong religious beliefs, they tend to not understand that honest diatribes are needed for people to make decisions on what works for them. It's not just listening to you, it's actually hearing you in conversation. Thank you for joining. It's hearing you in conversation with other individuals, offering point and counterpoint. I am waiting to, okay, you said that, so you got to let me know something else. But anyway, it is offering point and counterpoint, so this way folks can decide for themselves kind of what the debates are, the political debates are, so you can kind of decide who you want to vote for. So I have no problem with that, and I don't shy away from, again, what I believe in, because as I said to you earlier, it is not my job to make you believe me or to make you understand what I understand. It's just to offer insight to what I think. And then you make whatever decision works for you. It's the same way when I'm selling my books. My books are based on what I see, what I think, what I feel. And I don't worry when people say, oh, but you should cater to. No, because I'm going to cater to what I believe in and take it from there. So again, it has been my pleasure. And again, I hope that we've had some fun. I have. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed all the comments. I enjoyed the time spent. And I want to thank you for taking the time out. You could have been anywhere in the world, and you took the time to be with me. And I appreciate it. So look forward to hearing you. Look for me on the different social sites, and we can talk. Take care. God bless.